with Tracy in LA.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my podcast, Dance Journey. Today we have the great Cher Krayer.
Hi, everyone.
I'm excited to have Cher because I feel like I've known you a medium amount of time, I guess, now.
I feel like that, too. I feel like even though we don't spend all that time together or even hang out, it's like I feel like I've known you for a really long time.
Yeah, I know. We were just discussing earlier today how we met because I couldn't even fully remember. I guess we knew of each other when we both used to take class at Athletic Garage a lot. Mm-hmm. And so there was a time in my life when I was doing the all-you-can-dance pass at Athletic Garage, which is a great deal, highly recommended. But I was taking class there all the time. And so I think we may have met in Alkai's class or something.
Or Sarah's ballet. Yeah, I remember meeting you there at some point. And my first impression of you was like, I bet she's really kind. I don't know why like that. My quick interaction with you was like, oh, she seems like a kind person, even though it was probably very quick. And then we ran into each other again later on, of course. But yeah, AG is definitely where we met.
That's so nice. I knew you because somehow we started following each other on Instagram. And then you showed up. So there's a regular class that I take that now Cher is sort of taking. It's called, it's with Christina Wampler, also goes by Cricket, but she teaches a contemporary class with like a worship theme. And she basically just started this company/class called the Way Dance Company. And it's usually contemporary. But one week we had a guest teacher, which was Cher. And she taught hip hop. And actually, it was so fun. And so when I saw you there, I knew you because we'd been following each other on Instagram. But I didn't remember when we initially met. But I was like, oh yeah, hey. Or I may have even seen you at that studio before. I'm not sure. But then Cher.
I want to say I did see you at that.
I think we did.
So. I think you were taking the way class, and I was coming in, and you were leaving.
Probably.
I want to say that was like another close encounter.
Yeah, that's where I remember talking to you more first. But I'm sure we did talk at Athletic Garage as well. But yeah, so Cher taught a hip hop class that was so fun because she picked one of my favorite songs ever, and I was like,
shall we tell them what it is?
Yes. It's Shackles by Mary Mary. I'm sure many of you don't even know what I'm talking about, but look it up, Shackles by Mary Mary. Yeah.
It's got That's So Raven vibes, as Christina called it, which was funny. I love that. If you know what That's So Raven is.
I know what That's So Raven is, except I don't know. I'd have to watch that to see oh yeah, this is the vibe. But definitely that song brought me back to my high school days, and I didn't really do dance in high school, but our high school I went to a small private Christian high school, and they started a dance team my senior year or something. So there wasn't much to it yet, but that was, I think, the first song we learned choreography to.
Okay.
And
awesome.
I loved it. I loved it. And then I haven't danced to it since then. And then when you showed us what you were playing, I was like,
yeah.
I knew every single word.
That's
that
awesome.
Was so fun.
I love it. It was such a fun class.
A great teacher. So
Thank you.
I just had so much fun. I feel like you have a lot of just really good hip hop knowledge where you're not just this is the next move, but you're actually explaining, kind of how to do it or the roots of something. I thought that was really cool. So
thank you so
much.
And
just such a nice vibe and encouraging. So.
Well, I hope I'm a good teacher. I've been teaching for a long time. So
well, we're gonna learn about how long you've been teaching. But yeah, so then I felt like we chatted more because of that, and then since then we also danced. I'm all of a sudden I feel like we're dancing together all the time because we also danced recently. Well, we were also both in LA Unbound.
LA Unbound, yeah, my first one. That was my first experience, yes.
Yeah, and that was only my second one.
And we were in the same dressing room together.
Yeah,
and everything.
That was so cool because I think we didn't initially realize we were both in it. But we had just recently started seeing each other more, and then we're like, oh wait, we're both in Unbound. And you did, it was 2 hip hop pieces,
It
right?
was a jazz funk piece and a hip hop piece.
Yeah.
And how many did you do?
Too many.
Too many, okay.
4. I did 4. And they were all, 3 contemporary, 1 musical theater. But yeah, that was a lot. My first season, I did 2. And I don't know. I feel like 2 or 3 is a good amount. We'll see what happens this coming season. Are you going to do it this coming season?
I haven't. Auditions, I think, are in February. And I think it, if I remember correctly, it lands on a very big dance event weekend.
Oh, okay.
And so for
see.
my students. So I don't know. Maybe I'll be able to do a virtual audition again like I did last time.
Yeah. That is something that's nice about LA Unbound is you can, if you can't make it the day of the auditions, they have other ways. And that's how you did it last time.
Yeah, that's how I did it last time.
And Cher was killing it in her pieces. It was really fun to watch you.
So was Tracy.
Oh man, that day in the dressing room, I'm like, we were like chatting, but I was also just like stressed. Like, okay, I have to work on my choreography for my next piece. It's just like a lot because I'm still getting used to performing. But anyway, so we also danced in that, and then Cher also recently came to the contemporary class that she guest taught. She came to the actual class as well the other day. So I was like, I'm like, oh, I'm seeing you here, and now we're gonna take. And today we're taking class at Playground, one of the classes that you like a lot, right?
Yes. So we are going to be taking class at Playground LA on Melrose with Dexter Carr. It is a beginning intermediate class, but if you've ever taken any beginning intermediate classes in Hollywood, you know that they're not beginner intermediate. They're more intermediate to advanced, and then the advanced ones are crazy. But I've just recently started taking Dexter in the last few months, and I really love his style. I mean, it's really raw and really different. And he just gives the blueprint of the choreography, but then when you see him do it and the other students do it in class, they add like their own flavor to it, and it inspires me to just pull myself out of the box. Because I think overall, like, I think I'm a pretty decent hip-hop dancer. I've had a lot of training, a lot of experience. I've studied the hip-hop culture. I teach it. But then when I get into these kinds of classes, I am completely humbled because I'm like, I know nothing. I know nothing, and which is a good space to be in because then I learn consistently. So I'm excited that we're gonna take it together.
And I'm sure I'm gonna be really humbled because I don't even take hip hop a lot, but I did.
You're a contemporary dancer.
I did. I mean, more lately, that's been the focus. But I do like hip hop, and I did watch him online, and I like his style. So I'm excited that we're gonna take him. Yes. And oh man, I'm humbled all the time, so it's nothing new for me. I'm just like, okay, that's why I love being in LA because you're always gonna grow. I think being somewhere else, maybe you'll be seen as like one of the better dancers in the class, but then what do you learn? Like, I want to learn, I want to grow, I want to be inspired by people. So it is humbling, but it's like, hey, this is like so exciting that there's people that are like this good and this talented. Like, you're super talented, but then for you to be able to go to a class and be challenged, I mean, that's amazing. Like, we're so blessed here to have teachers that are so good and just people to inspire us. So excited to take that today. And but before we do, we're just gonna learn a little bit about Cher. I know some things, but I don't know her whole story either, so I'm just excited to learn it. So Cher, first tell us kind of what your current dance life looks like these days.
Okay. So I am actually a kids dance teacher in the Pasadena area. I teach hip hop. That's my main focus. And I teach ages 6 to 15. And I've been teaching dance, whether it's hip hop or ballet, like to 3-year-olds. I've been doing this, I want to say, for the past 15 plus years. There were seasons where I took time off, but honestly, during those seasons when I took time off, I always felt like God brought me right back. And that was through a series of opportunities or conversations. But it is an exhausting job. I think when people hear, oh, you teach kids, oh, that must be so fun. Like, it sounds so romantic, but there is a lot of challenge that comes with it because it's not just the teaching, it's the navigating, developmental aspects of kids' personality, coming up with the class curriculum, making sure that families are getting their money's worth because they're paying for their child to come take class and communicating with families. And then all the other admin stuff that goes with it. But I think at the end of the day, I really love to teach. So that's currently what I'm doing dance-wise. As far as outside of that, I take class. I try to do at least one ballet and one hip-hop a week. And that's very little compared to the dancing I used to do, where I did it like a lot during seasons. And that has just kept me going. I think even if I don't teach dance, or even if I get to an age where I'm like, I can't move as much anymore, I think I will always be taking some kind of dance class.
Yeah. And it's nice that there's just so many options here.
So many options here in
Where
LA.
do you usually take hip hop at Playground?
When I take classes, people are like, how do you fit dance into your schedule? Because on top of teaching dance, I also have a full-time administrative job. So I'm working, there are days where I'm working anywhere like 8 to 10 hours a day. So I think what I do is I pick a class that I really like I like the teacher, the time works, because if the time doesn't work, can I get there, put the clothes out the night before, all that kind of stuff, and I just try to stay consistent with it. So I love Dexter on Thursday nights at Playground. Sam Allen at Millennium is also a fantastic teacher. Before Dexter, I would take Shane Bruce consistently every Tuesday. Yeah, I really loved his style. He is no longer teaching there. He moved out of the state with his wife. They had a baby, so they started a family. But I was consistently taking him, and I like that. I know a lot of dancers like to take different classes. And that's awesome because it either works for their schedule, or they like to experience different teachers. For me, the consistency is super important, not just because I'm a routine person, but I think I have to make sure it fits into my schedule. I like to see the progression, like especially if I'm videoing, like, wow, I can see that I've made this type of progression in this class, especially now since so many classes allow film or they film you.
Yeah.
That was... When I was younger, they didn't do that. I'm taking hip hop currently at Dexter's, sometimes Sam Allen. Once in a while, I'll go to Offstage out in Orange County. I love to take Shiggy Nakado.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever heard of him before. It's been a while since I've taken his class. And then sometimes I like to take Emilio Manzano, I think that's how you pronounce his name, at Salt Studios when I'm visiting my parents out in Riverside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there are some jumps,
Yeah.
but the consistency is super important to me.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I
you-
take ballet at another studio in Pasadena. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. So I wanted to tell you about my new book, The Tracy in LA Newsletters 2010. This is my very first memoir. There will be more. It's not like a normal memoir where you're looking back on your life and reflecting on it and writing a book about it. It's more like a memoir in real time. So basically, when I very first moved to LA to pursue acting, which was in 2009, I decided I was going to write these like monthly newsletters where I sent out actual letters in the actual mail to a bunch of my friends every month to give them updates on what I was doing with acting and jobs and friendships and all kinds of things that I was going through my very first time ever living in LA. It ended up being pretty humorous, and so I've basically gone back and edited them so that I could publish them as a book. So that's what this is, and yeah, if you want to be entertained and have a good laugh, buy my book, or if you just want to help me pay my rent next month. Oh, and you can get it on Amazon. The Tracy in LA Newsletters 2010 by Tracy Nicole. Nicole is my middle name. Also, there's a link in my Instagram bio. You can get it paperback or on Kindle.
Yeah, okay. You've definitely made that a priority since you have so much going on, but then you still always make time to take the classes. I mean, obviously you love it, and it's so important as a teacher to keep growing yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Do you ever feel, because I mean, I love to teach dance. I've only done it here and there. I would like to do it more. But as someone who teaches all the time, and that's one of your main things, do you ever feel weird taking class? And if you are in a more humbling situation because you're a teacher, I've just always wondered this about teachers that take class, or if any of your students, I know you teach kids, so maybe it doesn't happen to you as much, but like if any of your students are in a class that you're taking, like has that ever happened to you before?
It has happened before. It's funny that you bring this up because there was a season where I would invite a student to come take class with me, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun because I did it for them. Like, I would bring them to an adult class with me, and they're like a teen or a preteen, and they would have so much fun because they're getting introduced to a new environment, learning from a new teacher. I love being able, because parents most of the time are not allowed in the class. So I'll take some video and like send it to the parent. The experience for them is pretty fantastic. The flip side of that is that all of a sudden that class does not become my class. It's not for me anymore.
Yeah.
And that's why I take class. I mean, class is beneficial for many things, for community. It's beneficial as a teacher. You learn. And when you learn, you pull ideas or you get inspired, or somebody, a teacher will do a hip hop move, and I'm like, oh wow, I really like that. And you should never, obviously, clearly never take the whole choreography.
Yeah.
But you take a move that you're like, oh, I didn't realize I could do that move, and then teach it to your kids. So there's all those benefits, but the main benefit for me is it's for me. It's a space where I don't need to do anything for anybody or be anybody to anybody. I just need to be there for myself.
Yeah.
And it's always been that. It's always been a time for me. So I think in the past few years, I've reflected a lot about that. So I've kind of refrained from inviting students to go with me. I've always encouraged them to go. That's one thing. But yeah, I have shifted a little bit more to, hey, you guys should try this class out, instead of inviting them to come with me, because it changes what that class is for me.
That makes sense. And since you mostly work with kids, you probably don't have it happening like as often where you're just like, oh, that's one of my students. If you didn't even invite them or something.
Sure.
But
yeah, because usually it's a preteen or a teen that it will happen,
Okay.
not a younger kid. Yeah.
Right. Because I take class with a guy who often he's like, oh, that's one of my students over there. Oh, that's one of my students. And I still can't tell if he's like happy or not, because it's just his face is like, oh.
Yeah, I have to, it goes from, are they looking at me and being disappointed that I'm their hip hop teacher? But I have, that thought has gone through my head before, and I've had to readjust that frame thought to where if I do have a student, a teen student in a class with me that we're both taking, it's not about me at this moment. It's about them having a good time, getting footage, asking them, how was your experience? So yeah, it becomes a little bit different.
That's so nice.
Interesting. That's a good question, Tracy.
I mean, I love that you're keeping that space for yourself, especially
it's
when
important.
You are only getting, a couple chances a week to do that.
Yeah.
So I think
Really,
it's good
only
that
once,
it's
twice
your
a week.
space. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Is there anything else you're doing with dance right now, or is that the majority of it?
Currently, no, because
Okay.
it's hard to incorporate anything else into a very full schedule. And then on top of that, you have your regular life things. You want to, I'm married and spend time with my husband, spend time with my, my community, and so it's definitely hard to squeeze anything else in.
I'm
currently.
like, regular life things. What's
regular
that?
life laundry? I don't know. Sleep.
I've seen your husband dance with you a little bit
thanks.
online. It's so
my
cute.
dear husband. His name is Elliot. And we've been married for, this will be year 12. Oh
wow,
my gosh.
Nice.
But he does do reels with me once in a while. If you are a follower on my Instagram account, and people always commend me or him. Oh my gosh, Cher, you're so lucky. And just so that everybody knows, it is a fight to get him to do a reel with me. It's usually about a week process to ask him every day. And then we have to choreograph, which he, reluctantly is like, okay, all right, okay. And then we do it, and then it takes several takes. You do Instagram reels sometimes. So it is a bit of a process, but I love my dear husband, and I'm so thankful he's willing to do these silly things with me.
That's like one of my old roommates. She, during COVID, she was really into TikTok, and I was actually not on social media during that time. And I was getting her to do this dance thing with me that I really wanted to do, and then in exchange, she was like, okay, can you make a TikTok with me every Sunday?
Yeah.
And at first I was like, sure, yeah, no problem. But then the way that we had to spend so many hours like learning these dances, off of a video, which I've learned is not my favorite way to learn dances.
It takes so long.
And then because like I didn't care about it as much as her because it was her TikTok, but then once I'm doing it, I do care, and then I'm like, oh, let's do another take. Oh wait, that one wasn't perfect. I mean, our whole day goes away with doing these TikToks, and we did it every week for a while, and then finally I was like, girl, I'm tired. How about you don't do the thing that I want to do anymore, and I don't do this anymore, and let's just chill. I need to chill.
They take a long time.
Because like we used to do it every Sunday, and we have some funny ones from the past. So like I'm glad we did it, but I'm like, yeah, that was a lot of work. So I can see, but yeah, it's probably like you have to hone in on the ones you really want to do because you're like, okay, this is going to be a project. But then you guys always look great, and he does such a good job.
Well, side note, my husband and I, we actually own a kids fitness studio in Koreatown. And both him and I have been in this line of work of kids fitness for a really long time. He doesn't do dance, but he does like gymnastics and motor development.
Cool.
So, and my husband's always been very coordinated as far as sports and things like that. So for him to learn the choreography, and he's also not a full-time musician, but he plays guitar.
Cool.
Understands musicality. So him learning it does not take a long time. He just doesn't feel comfortable. He doesn't feel comfortable because backstory, we did at our wedding. We did a hip hop dance, actually choreographed by Alkai.
Oh wait,
yeah,
really?
It was choreographed
That's
by
so cool.
Alkai. That was his wedding gift to us.
Aw, that's awesome.
Ellie and I started our wedding dance, nice and slow, and everybody thought we were just going to do a slow dance, and then we busted out to Beyonce's song. And I mean, I was having the time of my life. Like I had tennis shoes on underneath my big ball gown, but nobody was looking at me. Everybody was looking at Elliot.
Really?
Yeah, because he's not a dancer.
Okay,
and
so
so for him
intrigued.
to see the guy who doesn't dance, and he's just moving along, like everyone's like, "What, Elliot?" So they were all excited to watch him, not me, because they see me dance all the time. So
I'm sure they liked watching you too, but it is interesting. But I think that's why your videos are so cute because he's so like subtle about it. Because he's so like, okay.
He's just like
but it's
this.
kind of like his style sort of. And
Yeah.
it's cute next to your like really peppy style. I think it's really cute.
Oh,
so
thanks.
I'm glad
I appreciate that.
I'm glad you do push them sometimes because it's really cute for all of us. So,
oh, thanks.
okay, cool. Well, we also want to know kind of how you got started in dance. So, because I don't even know if you've been doing it since you were like little,
Okay.
or where did you grow up? How did you start?
Sure. No, I really appreciate these kinds of questions because it's making me reflect back on, wow, where has this dance journey taken me? So I didn't take dance as a kid. My mom
okay.
put me in the most introverted activity you could think of, and that was
What?
piano.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not really an introvert. I mean, I like my introverted time, but I'm more of an extrovert. And so I want to say my earliest memory of like dance was in junior high and high school. So in junior high, I joined the dance team, but I think it was like anyone could join it. So
Okay.
that was a lot of fun. I went to my first competition.
Were you in
as a
California?
big group. Yes, I've always lived in Los Angeles, California. The only time I've lived away from here was when I lived in China as an ESL teacher. I
Oh,
lived in
okay.
China for a couple years as an
cool.
ESL teacher
Okay.
after college. And then in high school, funny story, one of my girlfriends was going to go try out for the cheerleading team. And she's like, talking about it. And she said, you should come with me and audition. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I was more focused on academics. And she said, no, you should come. And so I went with her. And, we had to learn the routine, and weeks go by, and then we finally do the audition, and I made the cheerleading team, which, of course, cheerleading, it's cheer, but there's also some dance
Yeah.
involved. And that, I want to say, is like the first start of like, wow, like I can perform and do all this. So the junior high experience and then the high school experience. Didn't really dance in college. Maybe during the summertime I took some classes. I didn't start dancing until really heavily until my late 20s.
Wow.
That's when I
Okay.
started. Yeah, I went to China and then came back, moved to Pasadena, and I started consistently taking classes at Lake Garage.
Now, did you?
Yes.
What made you think about dance again?
I've always loved dance.
Yeah.
Like I loved watching Paula Abdul. She's probably my first memory of, wow, you can teach dance for a living? Like that's my memory of like choreography. I watched dance shows as a kid. Those are some back in the mind memories, but never really thought anything of it. And then when I came back from China, I was like, I should probably take dance again because it's fun.
Yeah.
That was my only motivation, was to
Oh,
do something
interesting.
fun and extra. So I took my first dance class at Athletic Garage in Pasadena. It was like on a Saturday. I don't remember the name of the teacher. I wish I could remember the name of the teacher. But then after a couple of years, I started working the front desk.
Oh,
The front desk
okay.
at Athletic Garage, they have a work for dance
Yeah.
program. And then after that, I just was taking classes every day.
Wow.
And it was just really for fun. And then things started happening, like, oh, you want to dance in this dance show? Oh, do you want to be my backup dancer for, I was a backup dancer for an artist named Cuba Swift for a while.
Oh, cool.
And then took some time off because of work. I wasn't dancing as much. And then ended up going back to do work for Dance at Athletic Garage and then dance some more. And then it's just always been in and out of my life consistently. And now here I am doing lots of teaching and also dancing.
Do you remember when you first taught? Like, how did you first get into teaching dance?
I was teaching at another kids fitness studio, and it was a fitness studio, but it had elements of dance as well, and that was my first memory of teaching dance.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's where I just started.
And
So-
then slowly, like, more
and then
opportunities.
and then I stopped that because I didn't want to teach kids anymore. And slowly tried to back away from teaching kids and explored again other job opportunities. But then my current job, working with kids, just it was. I really feel like a miraculous opportunity to teach. It was through a mutual friend that I got this job opportunity, and yeah, here I am. And I've been at that studio, I think, for 10 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been at that
That's
studio.
cool. What would you say is your favorite part about teaching kids dance, or specifically there, or?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I know I love it, but I think I just like working with kids.
Yeah.
I think I just like working with kids. There is when you teach, there is an element of performing, right? Because you are in front of a classroom.
Yeah.
And as someone who feels like I like to perform, it's almost incorporating that performance element, and then it's incorporating that structured element.
Okay.
I like structure.
Okay.
I like organizing things, and I feel like on top of the working with kids, it just encompasses all of my strengths. And then you have the trade of dance, which comes from the training, which comes from all these different things. So I think all of that combined, it's a really great fit for me.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, my best friend told me, you should be a teacher. And I
Really?
said, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And now here I am teaching. So yes.
Wow. They
And
saw
then-
it in you.
Yeah, and when I went to China, I was an English teacher there. My team leaders, especially my first one, told me, because I had graduated with a communication major from Azusa Pacific.
Oh, okay.
And when I went on this trip and taught English for a while, my team leader said, Sherilyn, my full name is Sherilyn, by the way. I'm surprised you are not a teacher.
Oh.
That's what she said. So I think there's a big word in the church world called calling.
Yeah.
And it can be taken one or two different ways, but it does sometimes feel like that, because at times I've tried to leave, I've always been brought back.
Yeah. I know. So that's what you said. Were you just kind of busy with other things, like why you didn't kind of keep doing it after college right away, or were there specific reasons why sometimes you took a break from dance?
From dance or teaching?
Well, I was thinking dance in general, but I guess either, because
Yeah.
teaching was like your calling. So yeah, if you
Sure.
have any specifics about that.
So with dance, it was just a season. Like maybe I had a job at the time that didn't allow me to take
Okay.
dance as much. Like when I was working in kids fitness full time, our schedules are from 3 to 8 at night, and sometimes dance classes don't go that late unless they're out here. But I couldn't drive; wasn't going to be able to drive out here and have to work again the next day. Teaching, I think I had personal reasons of why I wanted to leave, but it was never about the kids itself. It was never about the actual job. So the job of teaching. But yeah, anytime I've tried to leave it, I would always be brought back to it somehow.
Like, here we are again.
Yeah, here we are again. I have no idea why.
This is what I'm supposed to do. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that. That's like my dream is just for everyone, including myself, to just be doing what we're really made to do, you know, because I think sometimes it takes a bit to like figure it out, but like a lot of times we know if we really think about it, or we even look back on our younger days or what people used to say to us.
Sure.
And
What do you want to do when you
noticed.
grow up?
Yeah. And it's funny because opposite of you, when I was little, whenever people asked me what I wanted to do when I grew up, I said I'd be a teacher. And then in 4th grade, I had a friend, and her mom asked me what I wanted to be. I said, a teacher. She said, oh, well, so-and-so, my friend's name, wants to be an actress. And I was like, wait, I didn't know that was an option. I think I was very much only aware of like certain jobs you could do. And I think when she said that, I was like, wait, you can want to be an actress? I didn't know you could like pursue that. I thought only like special people were chosen, which now I'm like, that was probably sort of accurate actually when the way that I thought about it. But yeah, that kind of changed my perspective and was like, oh my goodness, maybe I could do that too. Maybe. So yeah, it's just interesting how other people can open your mind, or maybe it's God sending people on your path to kind of steer you a different direction, or the direction you're supposed to go. But
yeah, and I recognize the privilege and how lucky I am that I can do a job that I love and that really like. And often I'm like, wow, I get to make a living out of this, because I know not everybody gets to do that.
Yeah.
There's bills to be paid. There's kids to be raised. There's mortgage. Like, I feel very fortunate that I have these jobs, which I really feel there's a lot of purpose and passion behind them. And so I feel very fortunate. I feel really fortunate.
yeah, well, that's awesome. I'm glad that you feel like, you feel pretty satisfied with just what you're doing these days. Do you have any specific, like, other types of goals with dance, or just to continue to hone and get better at what you're already doing that you feel called to do?
That's a great question. I have no idea. I mean, I think teaching will be always a part of it, but someone couple of years ago suggested, Cher, you should teach in a senior home. That's what she suggested. Because, you know, movement is so important, right? Especially as you get older. I always tell my dancers, motion is lotion. And as I get older, it's such a, if I'm going to, you know, say that, I should model that. And so someone had suggested that. So I was like, that could be another like part-time gig. I'm like, wow, you know, we live in LA. I always think in the back of my head, I should try to audition for a commercial. Now, I'm not, you know, 20 years old and trying to get these type of commercials where you're dancing around and, you know, you look very young. But, like, maybe I could be a mom in, like, a Marshall's commercial or something.
Oh, yeah.
You know, with her shopping cart or something. Because I just have so much training. I'm like, what else am I going to do with this?
Yeah.
And, perform. You know, LA Unbound was such an incredible experience for me to utilize my skill set and training in within an organization that really creates space for so many people to dance. And so, but yeah, I just hope that as I get older, I'm still taking class. Hopefully I'm teaching somewhere. I don't know if I'll teach kids forever, but, you know, the senior home was a really good idea. And then, yeah, since we're so close to LA, a commercial would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But who knows? I have no idea.
Well, if it encourages you, I interviewed someone on here a long time ago who didn't really even get into training in actual dance until after she retired. She was a lawyer.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so, I mean, yeah, I think she's in like her late 60s or something. And yeah, she started taking all these classes. It was really hard for her at first to even pick up choreography, but she just started taking tons of classes all the time because it was just, she was having so much joy in it. Then she just decided to start getting on some like sites to try to find jobs. And This woman has booked so many different commercials
That's
and music
awesome.
videos. It's so inspiring to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, how did, because I like watched her like go from, I like saw the beginning of it and I'm like, wow, she got on a commercial that was like during the Super Bowl. It was crazy.
wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah, like
You totally
dancers
could.
like Kim, I think it's Kim Hale. Do you know who she
Yes,
is?
yeah.
She's pretty inspiring.
Yeah.
Her dance background and journey and just her vulnerability and sharing where she's come from.
Yeah.
I really enjoy watching her. But yeah, I think that dance will be part of my life. How? I have no idea.
Yeah.
But
Sometimes it's best to just be like, I'm just going to keep going and see what opportunities open because that's how it started in the first place. You did it because you liked it.
I did it because I liked it, and then it just opened up so many doors for me.
And I think that's often a good way to figure out things. Just like, I'm not exactly sure where this is going to go, but I know that I really enjoy it. It's in me. I want to get better at it.
Sure.
Now, when you're taking classes for yourself, do you have certain things you're trying to get better at in your own dancing? Like, I guess my question is, do you have certain things you feel like you're really good at or you get a lot of compliments on with the way that you dance, and certain things that you are like, this is one thing that I do want to try to get better at?
Sure. I think with taking classes here in Hollywood, especially at Playground, the camera, like it's a in the last few years they have really upped a notch at bringing that camera out at the end of class and filming you, and I'm confident in the choreography retention. Like I've been able to digest it, but a lot of the things that really challenge me is the camera when they bring that camera out, because it's like once that camera's on you, you forget everything. I don't know what it is. You just forget
definitely.
everything. So focusing on that, the retention, like I said, it's digestible. But when you're learning like a minute of choreography in an hour, which in the dance world is a lot, like that's a lot of choreography.
Yeah.
You're tired, you're fatigued, and then the teacher's like, all right, everybody come back out. We're going to learn section 3. You're like, oh my gosh. So the push past fatigue, the push past the brain, like your brain is just fried. It is a fantastic, like, oh my gosh, like the muscles, the brain muscles, the body muscles. It's a great push for me. And then to watch all these young dancers, again, like I said, I think I'm pretty good at hip hop, but then I see, maybe a little young Tracy dancing next to me, and I'm like, I'm not that good. I really need to pull up, And so I watch these dancers, and I'll just watch them. I'll watch their head move. I'll watch them add that chest pop. I'll watch them, twist that, that hip, and it's just the way they do it is like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to pull that. I'm going to pull that move. I'm going to pull that expression.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely all around the challenges are up. But if I could pick one, it'd probably be the camera.
Okay.
To stay focused and have fun and not forget.
Oh, yeah. That's such a good one. That's a good one for me, too. And also to even, like, look at the camera.
Yes.
So I used to take a lot of class from someone also named Cher Flair.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of her. Her name,
I have not.
Her name is Cher Flair, and she teaches a lot of jazz. Well, she subs a lot at Millennium, and she actually teaches all styles. She's very, like, well-rounded. But she loved to bring in a camera and just have people go in front of the camera tons of times, everybody. I mean, she would put people in different little groups with different people where you're like, oh, I danced on camera 5-6 times today. And she'd always say, we're not looking for perfection. It's not to make people nervous or to get a perfect video. It's just to learn to train in performing for a camera. So she would often give us tips for how to dance in front of a camera, not just to not forget, which is also something I'm working on because I get nervous, but like look at the look into the camera, like
play with the camera,
I'm
interact
nervous.
with
I'm
the
like,
camera.
You'll see me on camera and like I'm like hope it's far away enough because so you won't see me like looking down or like looking around, but she's like, play with it, have fun with it. And, of course, different dances might call for different types of facial expressions, but like to boldly dance to the camera, I think that's its own training in itself, and that's really smart to watch other people and be like, I want to see if I can sort of do that, versus just sometimes I find myself watching people and I'm just like, oh man, I'm never gonna be like that, or they're so good.
That can definitely happen. But what can I pull from them? I may not be able to hold an extension, but I can, whip my hair.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, that's so good. And it is funny because sometimes oftentimes I feel like I'm, struggling my brain off to try to like do this choreo. Other times in the class I'll be like, wow, I feel like I'm doing really good. Like through the class, I feel like I'm doing really good. I feel like I really got this. And then I watch people at the end and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
not that
Wow, I could have done
I'm
better.
looking down at myself, but I'm just like, I don't realize how much further you can push it. So it's a good experience. I'm
It's
like,
very
oh, I just thought I was nailing it because I like had the choreo.
Right.
But that's actually just like step one, especially in LA. It's like step one to have the choreo.
just
Like
to
that
have
is a
the
good
choreo
skill
down.
to like learn, be able to pick up the choreo for sure. That's a skill. But then there's skills beyond that to really make it your own, put more style into it. Like just do things that sometimes it's bigger, not always bigger, but just like with more like of an emphasis. And some people, they just have this way of making it like look really a part of them and
Yes.
almost like it's easy, even though
Yes.
we know it's not, you know.
Yes.
But I'm like, oh wow, sometimes when I'm dancing you can really see the struggle, you know. So there's just a lot to learn and work on. But okay, but what would you say people have complimented you on, or something that you feel like is your strong point in dance? Do you have anything like that you feel?
Yeah, I've had a couple of dance colleagues mention, in my chit chat with them about whatever dance thing we are discussing, is that I'm a little bit like a sponge. Like, I really take whatever class that I'm in, and it could be a beginning class, and there might be moments where I feel like, wow, it seems easy, but there will always be that small reflection of, what did I learn in this? There's something that I learned from it. And, I think that sometimes my husband makes fun of me. He's like, you need to decide what you believe in and what you want and but I think the opposite of it is that being able to take and learn, and the open-mindedness to seeing what other people are doing and what they can offer you. We have a lot to offer, but I think that a lot of other people do too. So any class that I'm in, I'm like, what did I learn here?
Yeah. And probably as a teacher, you especially think like that too.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
you're always wanting to make the most of your classes and really help people grow, but then you're also noticing how other teachers,
Absolutely,
their
100%.
specific skill, like, oh, they're really helping me in this area. And yeah, I've noticed that with different teachers too. So
Yeah.
oh, I wanted to ask you a specific question about recently you took, I think it was Dexter's class, where was it him who did the Barney song?
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
I
It
love
was
that combo so
fun.
much. What was the deal? Was that literally just like from Barney, or is that a current song, like that's like a pop song where they used the Barney song?
So if you listen to the entire song, it's in my Instagram reel.
Okay.
If you listen to the entire song, it's Barney at the beginning, but then it goes into that song called Freak-a-Lick. Have you heard that song?
Oh, maybe I
it transitions,
have.
and I don't know for sure if it's a mix that Dexter already had,
Oh,
or if it's
okay.
a mix he got from someone else. But he at the beginning of class, he always gives the vibe of what we're going to be learning
Okay.
today, and he just straight up said, "It's a Barney song," and we were like,
Do people even know?
What?
I'm like, we know, but do people, like younger people, even know what Barney is?
some of the kids that were taking that, there were some young kids, they knew who Barney was.
Okay.
But, all of us older people were like, what? Like, and then Dexter does a thing where a lot of teachers do this, where they'll show the combo. They'll do it full out
Yeah,
so that
okay.
you could see what he's hoping for,
Okay.
or a formula of what he's looking for. And then when he did it, I was like, because we started learning it, and then he did it, everyone just was through the roof. It was pretty incredible. Yeah, and we all had so much fun with it. It was so fun.
I mean, yes, we're talking about Barney the Purple Dinosaur.
Yes, a kid's character.
I mean, is that show still going currently?
know.
I have no idea. Anyways,
I had a cousin that had like Barney sheets on her bed and Barney posters and Barney stuffed animals.
it's funny because I
Yes.
don't even ever remember really liking Barney myself. I definitely had seen it, but I had so many friends that like loved Barney when I was little. And I just remember thinking like, I never like really liked it, but anyways, that was probably one of my favorite combos I've seen you do from that class.
Yeah.
It was just like, I was like, how did he take this Barney song? And it's like the coolest thing
It was the
ever.
coolest
and the
thing.
choreo was really cool.
Yes.
And I was like, dang. Okay, so yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited. Obviously, we're not doing that song today.
I don't
most
know, he
likely.
might bring it back.
Most likely, but I'm just excited. He just seems like a very creative person and fun and really good. Yeah, so good. But you looked great doing it too.
Oh,
I was like,
it was a lot of fun.
look at Cher killing it. Yeah, it's fun to watch you in those classes. Okay, I think you said you had something. Do you have a like funny or interesting dance story to talk about?
I mean, if I were to look back on my dance career, it would be the time that I performed at a show and I had 30 seconds for like a costume change.
Oh shoot.
Yeah. So it was for some Filipino show.
Okay.
Like it was like a Filipino producer and a bunch of friends and we got hired for this. Some AG friends got hired for this, and my dressing room was 3 flights down.
Oh my gosh.
And so for this particular costume change, I pretty much laid out all of my dance attire next to like the tech section. So there's a bunch of gentlemen there already. And so I came off stage and had to do like a quick change. I had undergarments on, but I had to do a quick change. And I remember like Luis was putting on a shoe. I think Ruben was putting on another shoe. Paulo was putting on like my jacket. And then, or I don't know who, I think those were my friends that were there. I'm pretty sure. But anyways, 30 seconds. And then I shenaned back on stage. So I mean, maybe it's not the most funniest dance story, but I had never, like, everyone has quick costume changes if you're a performer. You had quick costume changes at LA Unbound, but that was ridiculous.
That's crazy.
I was like, what?
And the fact that you had to go down all those stairs and come back up.
So I didn't go down the stairs for that 30-second costume change. I put my my clothes for that particular costume change next to tech.
Oh, okay.
The tech guys, and just did the quick costume change.
Wow.
So yeah, but I don't even think I went downstairs. I think
I can't even imagine 60 seconds because this last LA Unbound season was the first time I ever had to do a quick. Now, when I was young, I did a lot of plays and musical theater.
Sure.
So I do remember, I was Marta in The Sound of Music when I was in 7th
fun.
grade. It was the high school show, but like they let the middle schoolers audition because they needed little kids in it. And I do remember quick changes for that and people like having to help me and put these dresses on really fast before it came out. But that's my last kind of memory of quick changes.
Yeah.
So LA Unbound, when I had to I had one song in between like 2 songs. That was still like maybe 3.5 minutes or something.
Sure.
But that felt so fast, and
Yeah.
I'm changing in the wings, and people, thank God, were helping me because I was just like, how am I going to do this? But that is really short.
Yeah.
So that would be crazy.
I'm familiar with quick costume changes now, not because of me, but because of the kids studio that I teach
okay.
at. We've got kids doing maybe 6 or 7 pieces in one
Wow.
recital.
Oh my gosh,
and so
crazy.
you have, like, there'll be a corner just for, little Susie, or there'll be a little corner for, little Joe, with all of their costumes lined up and their mom or a mom ready to go. Like, so, and kids running, flying by you in the hallway. I can't find my shoe.
Oh my gosh.
I think last year's recital, one of my little hip hoppers, she came up to me and she said, Miss Cher, so-and-so hid my hip hop shoe. And I was like, what? So we had to go around and look for her hip hop shoe. But I'm like, this is not the time to be playing hide and seek with shoes right now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we found it. It was fine. But yeah, that was stressful.
Wow, no, being
for me, and
being
then also
a dance mom being a dance teacher is obviously a job, but being a dance mom is also a job, it seems like.
Sure.
So, well, gosh, we only have a couple minutes, so that went by so fast.
It did go by fast.
I want to ask if you have any advice for dancers or anyone maybe who's going to who wants to get started in dance, or maybe someone who's discouraged, advice for them to keep going, or do you have any type of advice you'd want to give to the dancers out there listening?
I think the main word that comes up is just consistency. I think it's really easy to get discouraged, especially in LA, in a culture where we want everything kind of microwaved, maybe. I want to learn this quick TikTok dancer. I want to learn, which is, that's the nature. But consistency, I can only take 1 class a week, right, of hip hop. But the consistency, I think, is important. And then to look back and reflect on, what did I learn this year? I think it's so important.
Yeah.
My mom has a really fun quote that I live by. She goes, little by little, day by day. And just 15 minutes a day, 1 hour a day, 1 hour a week, whatever that small, consistent thing you can do is going to be beneficial as long as you have intent behind it, you know? So a funny thing is that a couple of years ago, I actually went to go see a therapist for things that were going on in life at the time. And of course, you know, which is really great because mental health is super important. And she had me write a timeline of everything that has happened in my life. So I did it. And then she took it and she looked at it and she went, oh, wow, Cher, this is great. This is great. And then she said, you know what you didn't do on here? I said, what? She said, you didn't write anything about dance on here. I know. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
As one of the reasons why I actually changed my Instagram, which was a personal account at one time, into now Dance with Miss Cher. Because I was like, okay, so two things. Number one, I was like, okay, this is maybe a good thing because it's not just my identity. Dance is just not my identity. There's so many other things that my identity is focused on. But I was kind of sad about it. Like, I have been so consistent with dance, and it has been such a big part of my life. I need to be able to track this consistency, which is why I changed it to a Dance with Miss Cher to track what have I been doing training, what have I been doing teaching. So anyways, yeah, that's kind of a side story, but I think my advice would be just consistency.
Yeah.
Just consistency. Just take the class, make the time, don't give up. Yeah,
that's so good, and I think that's what that's actually learning that about dance, that consistency equals progress eventually.
Yes.
Because I didn't even know that when I first started dance. I was just taking it here and there, and I didn't realize, like, oh, if you're actually consistent, you're going to see growth. Like, eventually. Like, it's slow, but you will see it. And once I started seeing that, I was like, oh, that's really cool. And actually, that's helped me in other areas of life because there's things in life that I used to just think, oh, I guess I'm not good at that. Because I did it one time and it was bad. But now I'm like,
I do that all the time.
Wait a second. I used to be really bad at this and this and this in dance, but now I'm better. I'm like, oh, wait. It's called practicing. Even with cooking.
Yes.
I used to think I was just bad at cooking. And now when I mess up something that I cook, I'm not as mad as I used to be. I'm just like, oh, I guess I have to practice this more. Right. And that totally came from dance.
And you're getting better. I see your
am getting better, but
Instagram stories with all the cooking you're doing.
You're not tasting it, but no, I am getting better because I have a different mindset. I'm like, oh, I guess I need to cook that again and get better. And now I just apply. I feel like dance, those lessons you learn in dance can apply to like so many other things. So yeah, agreed. Just consistency and discipline is so important, and not letting yourself get down just because like you had one class that didn't go great, or even if you have like 100 classes in a row where you're not like feeling super great, just you're never going to get worse at something if you keep showing up. Yes. You're going to get
You have to
better.
eventually get better. Yeah. So, because when I started taking classes out here in Hollywood, I was like, oh, man, this is hard. These people are so good and all this kind of stuff, but just keep at it.
Yeah.
Just keep at it.
Yeah.
Teaching, it's like teaching. When I taught my first class, even at the beginning of the school year, when I go back into the classroom, I'm nervous. I'm like, why am I nervous? I've been doing this for years, but I'm still, going in there. But once you get into the rhythm, consistency is important.
I get that. I think nervousness also just comes because you care. You just like want to do a good job. And so even though you have no reason to because you've been doing it for so long, but yeah, it makes sense because I feel that too with a lot of things. But anyway, we don't want to be late for class. I'm so excited to take this class. But yeah, thank you for sharing so much, Cher. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome, Tracy in LA. This has been truly an honor. Thank you so much for asking me to do this. It's been so fun. A fun time to reflect on what dance has done and how I can use it to impact other people. Yeah. It's been really good.
Yeah,
thank you for this opportunity.
Good. Thank you. Well, let's go take class and we'll talk to you guys later.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.